Okay, so being that it is it's just a thing in our community where we have so much hate, or we quick to lash out or hurt or harm each other. We ready to kill one another at the flash of the smallest argument, a disagreement, a girl or a woman, right? It's the littlest things that could be talked about, or we can agree to disagree, never deal with each other again. We just ready to lash out and take it to the full extreme, right? How do you feel about people, black people specifically, that's so quick to harm each other, but then got the patience for everything and everybody else? How do you feel about that?
Um, for real, I think that's an identity thing. I think that's an identity thing. I think it's an identity thing, and you don't really know what you value. Cause you can value your respect. Or do you even value your respect over your freedom? I value my freedom over my respect. Cause I can heal from a disrespect.
Right.
I can look at it. It's my perspective of what disrespect is.
Yep.
That's why I always ask a person. So how does disrespect look to you?
Right.
Stepping on my shoes. You even call me a bitch ass nigga.
Right.
You may perceive me as a bitch ass
Right.
nigga, but I know I'm not a bitch ass nigga.
Right.
I ain't tripping off you. I'm not a bitch ass nigga, but I'm free. You know what I'm saying? I'm free. You know what I'm saying? The whole thing, you can't be free to make none of this thing you got up top here happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You can't. So with me, man, it's just that the disrespect, a person asked me on an interview, they say, do you get in confrontations? I said, nah, because I know how to look. I'm not going to be confrontational, because if you think that about me, think what you want.
Okay, so that ties into your identity, right? You knowing yourself, right? Or
Right.
anybody knowing they self, being comfortable in their skin, understanding that everybody not gonna have the same understanding as you, and I can't control how you perceive me. All I can control is how I move.
Right.
But if you have your own perception of me, and it's something I know myself, and I'm not tripping off that, right? Would you say that comes from you studying psychology and have a better understanding of psychology?
Most definitely, that got it. Most definitely, it comes from that, and it also comes from prison.
Experience.
Experience from prison. Now I'm gonna say this, because in prison, dudes are more respectful, and I tell females this out here, because dudes don't, in these podcasts, they don't be saying this.
Yep.
Man, you can't go in a hole for 30 to 6 months and not talk to your girl.
Right.
Or you might lose your parole.
Right. Right.
So you gotta know how to, like, dang, do I want to go and lock up because I can't use a microwave? The nigga hogging. How can I assess the situation without it going to 100 off the break?
Right.
Who can I talk to? Am I cool with this man? Did we work out in the yard? These are all chess moves.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But
Right.
if you didn't value that, then you get out here and then you don't look at it like that.
Right.
You more worried about you. You're not worried about the people around you. Like, all right, I know it's this man. All right, let me try her. Man be tripping, son. Like he a little wild. Like, holler at him. His man gonna put him up, you a little wild. Or you might have to look home. Like, we all try and make it home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On that tip.
Right.
Cause they always say this phrase, I call it a banal platitude. And if people don't know what a banal platitude is, it's something that sounds sweet but don't make no goddamn sense. That's what a banal platitude is.
I
So
love
man
that.
respect man.
I love that.
No, first of all, a man identifies himself and he conducts himself as a man. So if you don't identify as a man, how I respect you gonna respect me as a man?
Right, and that goes back to lack of understanding.
Right. And that don't got nothing but what you got on. It don't got nothing but that comes from your morals and your character. I
Yep.
judge a man by the character of his contact,
Yep.
not by the neighborhood he's from.
Yep.
Cause that's a geological slave.
Yep.
That's what I call a nigga geological slave. Cause all that is your mother just moved somewhere where she can afford, and you looked out your window. Maybe they was killing, stealing. That's what happened in your neighborhood.
Right.
But that don't make you for somebody else that lived over here and they moved. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wish my mother would have made some decisions,
Right.
and we could have lived in a house, and I didn't look out my window with gunshots, selling drugs,
Right.
and corner store every 24 hours of curry out. I
Right.
wish my mother would have.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right, absolutely.
So I be telling dudes, because you're a slave to your block that don't do nothing for you.
Right. Right. That's,
When you was in prison, they ain't do nothing for you.
but that's law.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
law.
when you say man respect man, no,
Yeah.
what is the concept of your character for me to respect you? But I'm gonna give you that, me personally, I'm gonna give you that just because you're a black man.
Right.
Cause I already know that you got some things that you fight. Cause I'm fighting the same thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's damn, bro. Good shit. So when I was younger, right? So I'm gonna give you a little back with me. I was born in Palmer Park,
Okay.
right? We moved from Palmer Park. We lived out Sea Pleasant. We lived out Capitol Heights. We lived out Walker Mill. We lived on 6th Street, not too far from here. We lived in Baltimore. We lived out Bowie. We lived out Law, right? Point being, we lived in a lot of different neighborhoods, right? But early on, we was mainly in the trenches, right? And one thing, because we had times we would live with my grandmother and my uncle would be in the same house. So it's me, my mother, my father, my uncle, my grandmother. We all in there, his kids, nice house, basement, all that. But it's a lot of us in there. So I went through that too. But one thing my uncle told me, this when we living on 6th Street, I would never forget, and it's aligned with what you just said. You said geological slave. My uncle told us when we was young, because mind you, when we live in the Southeast, we know we're not from the city. We from Maryland. This is our first time living in the city. He told us, he said, nigga, these dumbass niggas out here dying for the hood that the white man own. They could take this at any given time. And they out here going to jail, dying, killing for these hoods. And I get it, you stand on business for your man, your friend and all that, but at the end of the day, it's behind the neighborhood, right? And they could take this down. There's a lot of neighborhoods now that don't even exist no more, that people done died for, with the jail for.
They're not even here.
You see what I'm saying? So,
They're not even here.
Right.
So now,
Right.
you know, and I just, me personally, I don't even choose to indulge in those conversations about where you from.
Right.
Because I don't care about where you from.
That's
I
law.
don't care about where you from.
Right, who are you?
Because that's just a point of reference for me to just place you. But that don't, it's some dudes that's from somewhere, but they ain't never come outside.
Right.
That don't mean, oh, my neighborhood was this.
And that's why
that
they
don't
screaming.
mean you was a part of that.
Right.
That don't mean that.
Right.
That just mean that you lived there.
Yeah.
And if you was a part of that, you like I was that, and it is what it is.
Right.
But you ain't gonna leave with that.
Right.
Because I will already hear that.
Right.
So now you're trying to prove,
Yeah.
you're trying to paint your identity. On me. I don't need that.
Yes, sir. I love how you articulate yourself, bro. So let me ask you this, because everything you're saying is from your trials and tribulations, tying back to experience. Would you say everything was worth it?
For sure.
Okay, for sure, man.
For
Hey,
sure. Everything was worth it because these books are some of the most important books that I've read.
Let's get into it.
This book right here, definitely one of the most powerful books. I got this in about 2016, 17, and it's the Spirit of a Man, a vision of transformation for black men and women who love them. And this by Yala Van Zandt. Right, and then I had this book. A female had bought me this book. I was going through I was home.
Yep.
So this, about 3 years ago, and it's the manifestation workbook for black men. And just to take you through this, man, I referred this book to my mentor and 2 other brothers, and it just asks you questions like, what does being a black man mean to you? What does being who you are mean to you? Stuff like, I never been asked this before. I gotta ask this one question. What would your friends say about you if you wasn't in a room? Like, these got questions that I still haven't finished this book in 3 years. I had this book 3, I still haven't finished it because I'm also revolving, but I haven't even asked myself these questions.
Right.
And I believe questions are a good learning tool.
Right. For sure.
Because you can ask somebody a question. I remember on my first incarceration, I was complaining about, my father using drugs and my stepmom. I said, man, my father, man, I said, I hope he make it. And the dude in Baltimore said, well, have you ever sat down and said, Pop, man, I wish you would stop.
Right.
I said, nah. He said, why don't you do that?
Right.
But nobody never asked me that.
Right. You're not even thinking
Nobody
about that.
never said sit down and say that.
Right. Right. Right.
I said, dang.
Right.
So questions are like a catalyst to learning.
Right. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Let's get into that last one.
Yeah. Oh, so the last one, I got this, The Power of the Subconscious Mind. So this was a good book. It taught me to think that, a lot of things that we see subconscious through TV, music, our childhood, it's in there.
Yep.
And it comes out when it needs to. It comes out because it's the sub. It's not the front conscious. So subconsciously, you may do some things. That's why the mistakes come.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Subconsciously, why do I need to do this? Like, why am I angry? Like, if a dude disrespect me, where that come from?
Right.
Like, what's up with that? Why I'm so
Right.
worked up about
So
that.
in other words, it's like learned behavior that's embedded in you
Yeah.
that you're not aware of, but
Yeah.
it comes out at times that you can't explain. But
Correct.
until you tap into it, you won't have no understanding.
Correct.
And that's the only way you evolve is by asking yourself them questions so you can get answers and get clarity.
And your the way you think and your self talk to yourself. All that when you say, nigga, I'm a killer.
Yeah.
Or nigga, I'm a street nigga.
Yeah.
You know, I had my ex-female told me one time, this when I was working, she said, I said, man, I'm a street nigga. She said, nigga, you ain't no street nigga. You go to work and pay taxes, nigga. You don't break no law. There was an identity.
Yeah.
Cause I'm still want to hang on to.
Yeah. The past.
So I tell people,
Yeah.
I'm a ex-street nigga. I'm a reformed man.
Yeah.
Meaning reformed, like I don't think high street nigga. I don't even operate. I don't go by the old how I think.
Yeah.
Like I kill a nigga.
Yeah.
If somebody break into my car, I gotta call the police.
Right.
I gotta deal with the police.
Right.
Cause I'm a
Right.
citizen. I
Right.
pay taxes. I gotta go to work. I pay taxes. Somebody break in my house. I got home insurance.
Yeah.
I gotta what? I can't get the gun and go. No,
Right.
I gotta call the police.
Right.
If I want to take, you want to take somebody to court and get custody of your child,
Right.
you got to deal with the police.
Right. Damn, that's powerful, bro. Especially coming from you, that's powerful.
Yeah. You know
So
what I'm
let me ask you this, right? So, because if you want to say it, I won't.
Go ahead.
But you had a situation at 8 years old,
Yeah.
right, with the pencil, right?
Yeah.
And from that point up until whenever it was, how long would you say it took you to get to that point where it said, because you said this was 3 years ago when you said I was a street nigga,
Yeah.
and she said you're not a street nigga,
Yeah.
and that's you living in your subconscious.
Yeah.
Like even in that moment, would you say like that was the moment when you realized, okay, I got to get my shit together? Or when was it for you where it was like you like complete? Because the point I'm trying to get to is how some people, there's no time frame on how long it takes for you to make a transition.
Yeah.
It ain't a day, a week, a year. It's all on it's on you. It's a self-paced thing. So how long did it take you, right? Because I want somebody, like just for clarity for somebody watching.
At that point, for me to stop labeling myself that I'm not, because I'm not living like that, but I'm still labeling myself.
Right.
So that's an identity crisis.
Right.
That's a crisis I'm going through with who I really am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I would go to work, and because I never did this, so I would go to work, and it'd be 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, and dudes talking about, man, nigga, when I was up, Farrington, and I was doing this, and man, I used to be like, man, excuse me, I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah, not for sure.
It's early in the morning.
Yep.
I got bills to pay.
Yep.
I got goals to accomplish. I'm not trying to keep talking about prison.
Right. Right. You trying to get past
I'm
that.
trying to, what's my work day look like?
Right.
You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
What my work day look like?
Right.
What bills I gotta pay? I might got a trip I gotta pay off.
Right.
I might got some things I gotta do with. I'm dealing with my daughter's, my kid's mother.
Right.
That might be on my mind, but I'm
Right.
reading in the morning. I'm getting
Right.
my mind right.
Right.
So whatever comes to the day. So that's an identity crisis when you're living in that moment.
Right.
I didn't wake up in the morning to talk about no prison on the streets.
Right.
I came to work to be to work.
Right.
Let's laugh, joke, get some, you know what I'm saying?
Get this money.
Yeah, let's
Right.
get this
and
money.
make the most of it while we here. Right. That's
Yeah,
not
I
dwelling on
never
the past.
understood that.
Right.
And you can ask anybody working with me. They said, nah, Roma, being there listening to Eric Thomas, reading a book or something, like, probably blasting some rap music, trying to
Yep.
get pumped up for
Yep.
the day.
Yep.
But I'm definitely not talking about the streets,
Right.
because I'm not in them.
Right. So let me ask you this, right? So coming up around Thule Street, if you know, you know, do your friends treat you differently now? Or do you have friends you lost based on the transition you made? Because I know some people so used to the past version of you, when you make that transition, they can't accept it, or they don't want to believe that this is really something you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So did you run into any of those issues?
Nah. So my men that's ran away now. That's really the younger generation.
Gotcha.
That's the class, like the class under me. They
Right.
wasn't really.
They're not aware.
They aware,
Okay.
but they were younger. So if I'm 41, they like 35. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
Right.
shoot my age. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But the rest of them, they like 35, 36.
Yeah.
That's a class under, because that's a 5-year difference.
for sure.
You see what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
That's a 5-6 year difference. They seen me,
Yeah.
but now when I come around, I'm still the same guy. I
Right.
just don't indulge in that.
Right.
You know, we can still go to the bar, we can still go to the club, we can still kick it, but I'm pulling to the sides. I'm having some intimate conversation with them, whether it be the relationship, whether it be with their kids,
Yep.
whether it be with certain things they doing. Like,
Yep.
look, Slim, you know that'll lead you. Slim, like,
Right.
come on, like, Slim, you got this talent. Like, let's get this LLC. Like, man, keep rapping. There's some talent around my way.
Yep.
I tell them, man, rap.
Yep.
Rap your way out the
Yeah,
hood.
for sure.
Rap
For
your
sure.
way out the hood.
So
you know what I'm saying?
I want to talk about that, right? Because y'all do got a lot of talent and y'all got a
Yeah,
lot of different people
for
in
sure.
the different lanes. What's stopping y'all area from just bringing it all together?
Unity, camaraderie, and people understanding their position.
Right. Okay.
For sure, that's what it is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just
Yep.
because, they call me OG or big homie, but I'm never trying to son or do what I am. What I'm trying to do is, I'm not trying to son you. I'm trying to give you some guidance where you don't make the same mistakes I made.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And also, pour into your talent.
Right.
Like, your talent can take me some places
Right.
I ain't been.
Right.
Even if it's to the Louis store, if I don't
Right,
get
right.
nowhere and they shut it down, at least the young nigga, you got
Right.
me there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But it can, you know what I'm saying? It can, your talent can take you somewhere. And I see
Right.
a lot of young brothers, and you can ask them, and I tell them, man, keep rapping, Slim. Like,
Right.
like what we got to do. I just think that, again, man, we gotta be unity. We gotta be a team. If you gonna play this position, play the position. Don't get mad or this or
Ego.
ego. Don't be like that. Be like, man, look, we all,
We one band,
grew
one
up
sound.
together.
Yeah.
Why can't we all grow up together and get some money? I don't care if it's you the big man and you got all the money. At least I ain't shoot. The job ain't offering nothing about $55,000 a year.
Right. Right.
They missing that part.
Right.
$55,000 a year.
Right. Right.
So 60.
Right.
So if my man make 5 M's and he giving me at least 150,
Right.
what can I do with the 150 you gonna give me?
Right. Right. How can I
I
capitalize?
ain't gotta risk my freedom.
Yep.
I ain't gotta be this to the boss if they ain't with the work stress
Yep.
that we go through.
Yep. Right.
So that's why I just feel like, a lot of neighborhoods in this area, that's where we fall short at.
Right.
I feel we fall short of not having a team and not everybody playing their part.
No, that's law, right? Everybody want to be the big dog instead
Yeah.
of look, this my position, not knowing. It's like at a job.
Yeah.
Everybody got their roles, but it makes this thing work.
Yeah.
It's one machine. People to go to work and have no problem working in that system and not complain about where their role is at. They sign up for it.
Correct.
But then when it comes to your homeboys, the people you grew up with, everybody want to play a certain role. They can't just accept this will fit you, this will fit you, but together we can make, make
Correct.
something. Nah, for sure. Okay, so let's get into some financial literacy, right?
Okay.
And how financial literacy ties into mental health. Because a lot of people, they think they just can, get a CDL or get a business and just make the money, not understanding like it's a certain mind frame you have to have going into this. So you won't, like you said, mix the streets with this or put yourself in a position where you could lose everything you done worked hard and earned, right? So because people need financial advice, right? Like you said, credit, taxes. I don't know if you went to the stock market, but just real estate, right?
Yeah.
And just all these different things, different lanes where you can make the same kind of money, if not more, that you chasing in the streets, doing it legally, versus just feeling like you got to get rich tomorrow.
Right.
Right. So let's give some advice. Let's talk about financial literacy.
Well, first of all, I would say get your credit straight.
Yep.
Because that's how I probably had like 6 cars since I've been home. But I would never have to do that if I couldn't, in my credit straight, to go ask the bank for the loan.
Right.
That's all I'm doing.
Right.
Let me hold $25,000.
Right.
Go get me a car.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How I started the first time, I asked for $12,000. Next time I asked for $17,000. Then I asked for 20. Then I asked for 25. You see what I'm saying? But my credit was right.
Right.
And I also would like to shout out my brother, because when I first came home, all I did was work and I put my money up. But he taught me and literally argued with me, well, go do this on the app. Navy Federal, go do this right now.
Yeah.
You got this amount of money, say that they see that in the bank. They see the direct deposit.
Right. Right.
And that's how I got the credit.
Right.
So once I started doing that with the credit, that was my first learning experience. Well, all
Right.
right, I can just get a car. Like, it was nothing. I never
Right.
put no money down on the car. Never. You go in there, if I got 20,000, if I got 20,000
Yep.
and the car costs 18,000,
Right.
I'm going in there and say, look, make tags and title, put all that in there.
Yep. Yeah.
What am I coming up? Why am I putting it down?
Right.
Because I'm not getting a loan from you. I already owe the bank the 20, so I already know what I gotta pay them back per month.
Yep.
So why am I putting that down?
Yeah.
But these are the conversation, and shout out to Snow, because he the first one that taught me that. He the first one that taught me that. And also, the most powerful thing that I'm learning now that I learned that having your LLC,
Yep.
being a 1099 worker, it's certain things. Now you have to be responsible, just like the credit. You got to pay your own taxes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But it's your business. It's
Yep.
your LLC. You know, it's you. You are the corporation.
Right.
And it doesn't take nothing but $150 to create one. Less than that, you can really get one for free. You gotta wait longer for the filing.
Yep.
But all that to say, those are some of the ways you can have financial freedom. And what else I want to talk about?
Like budgeting.
Oh, budgeting. When that money come in, me and Snowden seen it.
Yeah.
Because in the dump truck game, in this game when you work for yourself, it coming in. It's coming. You gotta put that money up. You gotta make some smart decisions.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be some people around you because they got money coming in. So that's where the stock's coming in.
Yep.
That's where you're gonna have to get you a group, get you in, because they got stock groups out here that let you, but it costs
Yep.
$50 a month, $100 a month for you to join the group, but they advising you what to do with this money, what to do with that money. Look, buy this stock, and you gotta leave it. Life insurance, and this is something I just learned about 4 months ago. Life insurance, the lowest you can save is $50 a month. Anybody want it, you can reach out to me. I got a lady that directly do it. She'll explain everything, where your money going, how it's going.
Yeah.
And also a Roth account. A Roth account is your retirement, because now your job takes the money out and put it aside for you. But now when you're a 1099, you got to do that yourself.
Right.
So, because you're getting all this money, when you're not working, what you gonna do with it?
Right.
You got to put it away.
Right.
But also, when you do that, it gains interest, because what they're doing, they're taking your money and they're using it in the stock market.
Yep.
And it doubles.
Yep.
So, but you can take it out. Penalty. You don't have to pay no penalties, but you can get it. But this is what I want to say. Hold on, before I speak too fast. But do not take it out. Just let it accumulate, because you don't never know what's gonna happen. Don't see it and get to 30,000 and you like, oh man, I need 10 to do something to take a trip. No. Think about this your cushion for
Right.
when you can't work no more.
Right.
Because this is your dream. You investing in your dream,
Right.
your body, your IP, your intellectual property. You have to, and that's another thing I want to talk about. You have to invest into your intellectual property. That's what these books are for. Taking mentor courses, taking coaching classes, taking how to flip houses. All those things are intellectual property. How to become a gamer, how to write a story, how to direct a movie. All these are things that's going to make you money.
Right.
You really have to invest in yourself and invest in your mental health. And that's another thing. Take some time, go to the spa, and brothers, go to counseling. Invest in your mental health. Invest in the counselor, man, because it's a lot that weigh on us out there. And I don't want another black man to think that he's less than just because he don't have the money to provide for his family.
Right.
But know that you are still needed, black man. You are still needed. You know what I'm saying? You are still needed.
Right. And then it's two things too, right? First, I don't know if we spoke about it already, I don't think we did, but you are a teacher.
Correct.
Right? And that's another thing, you and Snow having this relationship. He's seen something in you and said, hey, this is something that I feel like you could do, because like you said, when y'all first got into the trucking together, one thing y'all noticed is, like you said, you had people that were signing up for y'all class that didn't make it to it, and they, were killed, right? Because they were still in the streets. They was, one foot in, one foot out. And so that's where the mentorship came from. Well, not the mentorship, the mental health came from, right?
Yeah.
And now you teach that course so you can prepare guys mentally for what it takes, mentally to, be prepared to make this kind of money, make the transition and do it the right way, so you don't have to worry about getting killed or going to jail or compromising or doing anything to mess this up, because it's life changing. Right. So let's talk about that. How's that for you?
That's been one of the most humbling, gracious things that God can open my eyes up to my purpose. and to work with guys, and mostly guys. I work with some women, but to let them know, man, it's okay. It's okay to be struggling mentally, but the number one thing is what you gonna do about it. Is you gonna lay down or you gonna fight? Is you gonna fight? Is you gonna pay attention? And I teach a lot of coping skills. I teach a lot of grounding techniques. I teach a lot of music therapy. I teach, definitely go to the gym. I tell every brother who's been locked up, we know that when we were locked up, that working out relieves that stress and it makes you feel good.
Yep.
Going on walks. And another